Since 1954, Terrebonne General has been a beacon of health and hope in our community. As we mark 7 decades of dedication to your well-being, Terrebonne General Health System remains committed to advancing healthcare, improving lives, and expanding our services to meet your evolving needs. In celebrating our past, we look forward to a future filled with promise and progress. Your health is our legacy. To discover more, visit tghealthsystem.com.
Bayou Times Sports is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System's Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda.
To be joined by Richard Jones, head boys basketball coach over at Houma Christian. Had a good year last year. I mean, made the playoffs. I think it was a first-round loss, unfortunately, to Thomas Jefferson. But you were young last year. I noticed that there were a lot of sophomores dotted throughout that lineup. Have you grown up a little bit?
We're still pretty young, but man, that experience that those guys got should pay off dividends for us this year.
Listen, talking to you and probably T-Jack and Coach Carey and even Jamar, it's a little different. I mean, you have a set number of kids in the school where, don't get me wrong, I know everybody else has got guys that are playing football and things like that, but you're going to have probably a few kids coming over. How has that been to this point? Do they do football all the time and then you're not going to see them until after the season? How does that work?
We've expanded our program since last year from a number standpoint, but obviously to be successful at the 2A level, we have to share athletes. We have to get athletes in the building. We got to get good kids in the building, and we got to have athletes that play multi-sports.
That being said, we talked to Cornell Scott about his situation with his gym, he and Coach Robinson not having a gym. You have one gym. Does that pose problems sometimes?
It does. And with those expanded numbers, having a junior high program that's really talented, expanding into a JV program, having a varsity program. Jamar with the girls program has expanded to a junior high program as well. We got a lot of different basketball entities, so one gym is tough. Bayou Black has been a great asset for us for helping us out schedule some practices.
Very good. So at this point, after the summer and now at the point we're at in the fall, and you're just about to start with the Jamboree next week, what do you feel good about?
Oh man, I love the consistency and the dedication that the kids have showed. Same with the guys that'll be coming over from football for me. I know they're going to be battle tested and coached up the right way on and off the court. Jamar does a good job with all those guys coming from football. So those guys coming to me for basketball, they're going to be very well prepared because they're led by a great person.
Talk a little bit about the situation with you boys. I guess, in the district that you play and the way you have to get through it and the seedings and things like that. Your scheduling. I mean, obviously you want to get those power points to get in. Have you figured that out yet? Like how to do all of that yet, and how do you schedule?
I think we put together a pretty good schedule for this year. I thought we scheduled well last year. But with this brutal district that we're in this year, we had to take it into consideration. When you're in a district with a Franklin who won state in basketball but didn't win their district, you're in a tough district. Unfortunately, logistically, those guys like to play 2 rounds, so a little bit stubborn. So we kind of had to face that. So we softened it up at times. We picked our spots where we'll challenge each other, and we know it's going to be no night off in that district.
Talk about your concerns right now. What do you think you're going to do well as a team? What do you think of those things y'all have to work on?
I think we just got to keep showing up every day and fighting for each other. I think one of the things that we do well and hang our hat on is that we're going to scrap. We might not look like the most intimidating bunch, but we're going to get down and we're going to scrap and we're going to fight every play.
Very good. Wish you the best of luck this year.
Thank you.
To be joined by Jamar Celestine, and this is a very kind of, I don't want to call it odd, but you have the most extenuating circumstance related to taking over when basketball starts. You're a head football coach.
Yes, sir.
It was interesting the way everything went down last year, but had a terrific year with the girls last year. I know that was a lot of fun for you. You could tell when we would see you at the end of the year, you were beaming about working with that program.
Yes, sir.
Talk a little bit about the transition. How's it working for you right now, having football with a couple of games left, and you have a jamboree, or you're getting into the basketball season next week?
Obviously, we at Houma Christian is a small school, so we're sharing a lot of the athletes. Currently, they're in the volleyball playoffs, so most of my girls are actually on the volleyball team. So practice has been cut back, obviously, to support them. So it's a tough transition, but I know they'll be ready to go.
Does it affect scheduling for you? I can remember there was a year, and a lot of you guys who were in 3A basketball will remember Patterson wouldn't start playing basketball till like late December because they weren't messing with it. Does it affect the way you schedule your girls' basketball program?
You're absolutely right. That's exactly what we did. We pushed the schedule back so I can have more time to actually utilize to get the girls prepared.
You know what you have coming back, though. Don't get me wrong. You may have a couple of girls that are going to step up for you along the way that you don't know about yet. That being said, what can we expect from your team this year?
You could expect a lot of intensity on the defensive end. I hang my hat on that as far as a coach. That's what I live by. And last year, I had to go around the halls and recruit, obviously, in the school, trying to do it the right way. And those girls actually bought in and they did exceptional. And they love defense now to the point to where I don't have to overemphasize about defense because they know coach is serious about defense. So now they take it upon themselves to get others motivated. So I love that about them.
Numbers are good right now?
Yes, numbers are really good right now. Where we're sitting at 12 girls. In the past, I started out with 5 and had to go through the hall and actually ask a few to come aboard. But now we're at 12, so I'm excited about that.
So I was going to ask you to describe your team. You just said defense is a key. You're going to instill defense. Beyond that, describe what kind of, do you consider yourself experienced, unexperienced, young?
We're still young, obviously, but they played so many minutes as a young team. Like I had a lot of 7th graders and 8th graders who stepped up, and those 7th and 8th graders won district last year. So I would say they're experienced now, but we're moving to a new district. So obviously it's going to be a tougher challenge, but I'm excited just for them to come back, having been played a lot of minutes. So hopefully they'll be able to transition really well.
You make it to the second round against Glenmora, I think it was. That being the case, is that a sort of goal again, or do you sort of reassess things as the year starts?
You reassess, obviously. You always want to go as far as you can, but you don't I don't put a number on it like, hey, we have to go to the second round. We want to win every game. Every time you go out there on the court, you want to try your best. Obviously, that's what I preach to them, but we do it the right way. As long as they're doing it the right way and they're giving it all, and we always give the grades back to God, that's all that matters.
Finish your statement. For us to be successful, and whatever successful is to Jamar Celestine, for us to be successful this year, what has to happen?
For us to be successful, we have to stay healthy.
Just because of numbers and everything?
Because the numbers and the experience, it's going to be a lot of young girls, so I'm going to be asking a lot of 7th and 8th graders to step up to the plate again. So we just have to stay healthy.
Very good. Best of luck this upcoming year.
Thank you so much.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights.